Hello, beauty. I'm coming to you here from the Rio Grande in northern New Mexico, and I'm inspired to share a bit more about this upcoming program I have, Tomb Womb. It's a 3-week ceremonial cocoon to hold you through that portal of the winter solstice. And I'm getting lots of questions about it and if it's right for me and all these things, and so just want to explain a little bit about what you can expect in it. Give you a little taste of the sort of energetic signature of the journey, of the process, of the cocoon that you'll be held in through this portal. I specifically named it Tomb Womb to scare you a little because I've done so many winter solstice journeys and experiences through my teaching career and space holding career, and this is the deepest one, and it's one of my favorite portals to hold people through because I don't find a lot of true authentic holding through this particular portal. It's super easy to hold folks in like the summer solstice, this light, but in that deep dark, it's a hard space to travel in, and we don't really want to sometimes. It's tricky. It's a tricky place to want to go, and to go gracefully and with some sweetness. So that's the intention for this journey, is to go deep. This is the deepest journey I'll be taking in the winter solstice, and so, but it's also the sweetest. And so I've learned over the years how to do both at the same time. And so this portal, this tomb womb, is really meant for those that are in between lives, in between careers, in between relationships, in between versions of yourself, masks, identities, lifetimes, like, epochs, right? Where the old is dead, dying, maybe in the process of dying. I don't know about you, but I'm kind of sick of it at this point on some levels. I'm like, I'm ready to be done with death at some point. And yet there's more. There's more to release. There's more to kiss goodbye. There's more to give to the river, to allow it to float downstream and to birth a new world somewhere else. And so in this process, we're going to be doing a lot of releasing. And so this portal is for those that are, in that process, and the new hasn't quite arrived. Like whatever's coming down the river into our lives isn't yet here. And so it's this in-between space of the death and the rebirth. And we don't want to push the rebirth. We want to really move into the death and into that spacious darkness with open eyes, with as much presence as we possibly can. There can be a tendency when there's this much release and grief accompanying it to check out, to go numb, to fall asleep a little bit, to check out, because it's overwhelming. It's a lot for us to process. Humanity hasn't lived through, at least anyone that's alive today hasn't lived through something like this before. And so it's really beautiful, and these practices of Tomb Womb are really meant to hold you in that space and give your nervous system some balance and some care in staying awake in that space, because and here's why you want to stay awake in that space. Because there's treasures, because there is magic. We've heard this a million times, right? Like some of our deepest treasures and gems of our lives are in the shadows. And sometimes we get burnt out going into those shadows. And so this Tomb Womb journey is really meant to give you some resources and some holding, some sweetness, some company along that journey. And so what happens when we do this is we sort of enter a state of, I'll say, active receptivity. When we are actively, consciously releasing, allowing ourselves to consciously let go and name what is dying and grieve it, And it opens up this space for us to really receive, really kind of align with what is true now. Because what was true then probably isn't anymore, to some degree. You know, it's not like we arrive at some version of ourselves at some point in our lives and that's it. We're done. And so this active receptivity really allows us to stay awake for the receiving, stay fully present for what flame is being lit, what new life is wanting to be born in us, through us, as us. And so in this journey of Tumum, we're really doing a lot. Obviously the name Tum, we're dying. We're bringing death to that which is ready to die. And in that space, creating that fertility of what wants to be born. And we're doing this very consciously, kindly, within ourselves to allow what is new to come forth. And this is a skill. This is a learned skill. This isn't something we just have by nature. This is something that we can cultivate within ourselves and with each other to be able to go into. And so this conscious receptivity also really is a magnetic force. It can deeply magnetize to us what our next journey is. Right? So it kind of puts us in the middle of the river and allows us to open into that flow again. Because when we go to sleep, we sort of leave the river. So this active receptivity is like a vessel waiting, emptied out, totally hollow, ready to receive what is in alignment, what is true, the true blessings of this next life. So Tumum begins on December 10th, and I would love, love, love to have you there. There's two versions of the process. There's one that's 100% self-paced. You go at your own pace with everything. There's 2 embodiment practices per module. There's 3 modules, 3 parts of ceremony that follows Inanna's descent into the underworld and subsequent rising up out of the underworld. And there's another piece to this, which is the Yoni Egg version. And so this involves a live component on December 10th and the 30th, and also a really potent Yoni Egg solstice practice. Because the Yoni is the womb, the Yoni is this cave of creation. It is the receptive vessel. And so when we attune to this part of our bodies, we can deeply and fully receive what is in alignment. And we get to choose. We get to choose what we want to invite in and what we don't. So I'd love to have you there. You can find more on my website about this journey, and feel free to be in contact if you have any questions. Wherever you are, however you are, sending so much love, blessings, and care for your journey into this winter solstice.